everyone, so welcome back to another episode of 1111 Talk Show, and today we have someone whom we have wanted, I think, for the longest time. Oh, now.
That's true. Sorry, it's my fault that you guys couldn't get me on 1111. I think ever since the start.
Yeah.
I think you wanted me on the second episode or something. DJ had gotten in touch with me, yeah.
I think our first choice had always been you, Awanku, and a few others.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So grateful that today you could spare us this time, and I have been meaning to tell you this, but the fact that you actually personally DM'd us when you couldn't make it, I think that was really touching. Yeah.
I'm glad
Yeah, because I think after having started this, there are very few people who say that, oh, I would love to help, but the fact that you personally took the time to DM us when you couldn't make it, it really reaffirmed in me the belief that you really do wanted to help, no?
Of course, yeah. I know both of you, of course, yes, and I think it's a good thing that you started. It's fun. I've watched some episodes and it looks like a lot of fun, and I think people enjoyed themselves also.
Oh, thank you. Any advice for us?
Like I was saying, don't let people ramble on. So if you want like 30 minutes, let people talk for like 30 minutes. Don't do like longer than that. Yeah. It's more work for you and DJ then.
Okay, we'll keep that in mind. So next time, I think the first time we meet them, it's gonna be like, oh, it's a 30 minutes show. Just talk only for 30 minutes.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So since you have already watched it, now you know the drill. I'll be asking you 11 questions.
Yes.
Yeah. And Katsa DJ I was wondering, what questions should I ask Ause now? Then I thought that you're someone who has always been known for your work, When it comes to you and your work, you need no introduction. And then as someone who looks up to you, and I also know that there are many others who look up to you, I thought it would be really nice to know you personally more than your work, because I think I was saying we don't need to talk to you about your work speaks for you. So yeah, that sounds cool.
Yeah, that's fine with me, of course. Yes, that's what my friend Harry, Bhutan Street Fashion, he keeps saying also. Yeah, nobody really knows anything about you. He was maybe like bits and pieces here and there, but like you were saying, it's I'm always what I put myself out there, what I put of myself out there is work related and rarely ever personal, unless of course it's now related to motherhood. But even that is like a general thing. I don't really always share my personal things. Yeah.
You don't even have baby R's face.
No.
Talk about it.
Yeah. Yes, I know.
Not
privacy. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay. So first thing is why did you want to come on a walk?
It's I'm sorry I'm making you walk.
No, that's fine.
It's something I enjoy doing. I really like going for walks and hikes, and I'm just getting back into it since I became a mom. It's really difficult, especially when you're breastfeeding. If you're bottle feeding, you have a lot of freedom, right? Somebody else can feed your baby, but when you're breastfeeding yourself, your baby needs you time to time. So it's really difficult for me to take off for long hikes or walks, and this is actually, I think, a walk without baby R. Yeah, or TP, or other people, just by myself with you guys. I think first time in about a year. Yeah. Wow. It's so if I go for my walks, I always have baby R along with me also, so that because I like him to go out in nature to enjoy it just as I do. So then it's really, I think, the first time I've done it without my family in the picture.
Oh, honored. Second to the family, DJ.
Yeah, second to the family. Yes. The extended family it is today.
Also honored. Okay, another thing is you being you, and I know there's this image of you that you put yourself out there, someone who really has a mind of her own, who is smart. So for me, and I'm pretty sure many others would connect, I would perceive you as someone who's always into reading or something like that, right? Because you have to keep yourself updated, because you are into that field.
Yes.
So what's one hobby that Namgay has that no one would think you have, and 3 random facts about you?
That's interesting. Something I really like to do is, when I have time, is I like to cook. Actually, people think, a lot of people, even throughout my career in BBS, my own colleagues thought that I didn't know how to cook or I don't know how to clean, because that, like you were saying, there's an image of me where I'm this, I think, an intellectual snob, and maybe I was born with a silver spoon in my mouth, so I really don't have to do a lot of hard work, and they find it amazing that I know how to clean and I know how to cook. I think a lot of people still get amazed that oh or like Namgay Zam like that kind of a thing, you know. So I actually, when I really have the time, I like to cook. I like to I not just cooking, you know, not just putting things together, but it's like this really meditative experience for me. And then I like to lay out my food in a very beautiful manner. So it's not just about cooking and then eating, you know, but like, you know, there has to be like a certain color, like plating and all that. I enjoy it. So yeah, I used to really enjoy shows like MasterChef, etc., etc. I don't know how to bake. Now that's something I don't mind learning. Not immediately, I don't have the time, but then cooking, I like to put things together. Another thing I really like to do is wash dishes. That's so weird. I know, it's so boring. But people are like, wash dishes. No, but I really do. I like to listen to music a lot. And so I guess that would make it 3 right now. Yeah. So it's like extremely domestic version of me. So it's I like to listen to music when I do things. And I was thinking, you know how you have this walking meditation, etc. But for me, it's like, what can you do that puts you in a meditative state of mind? And it's always been washing dishes for me. So then I'm there listening to music or just washing dishes. So these are things that I enjoy that people would never think I would enjoy. You know, it's like a very domestic side of me. So yeah, besides that, the thing I was saying about music, it's something I really love from a young age till now, and it's I really enjoy all genres of music. So classical music, rock music, and then people think when they look at me, I'm that really you know, this pop hits kind of a girl, and the way I dress and all of that. But I really like rock music a lot. And it's classic rock that I really enjoy compared to, and a bit of alternative rock as well. So that's something people don't know about me, but I really enjoy. Like I'm really into headbanging kind of music, kind of rock music. So that's something people don't know about me. Yeah. So it's like extreme, but I think it also has to do with my. I mean, I know some people find the Zodiac thing so stupid, but then oh my God, you said 3, but I have to say this. I really believe in Zodiac signs. So I'm a cusp, like Taurus, Gemini. But I really think when it comes to music, like my personality is split like a real Gemini. So it's one extreme. So you have classical music to like extreme bubblegum pop, you know, on the other side. So then there's like, and everything in between. So yeah, those are things, those are random things about me.
I think your husband is really lucky. Like, on one hand, you have someone like who's like doing so well for herself, and then on the other hand, you have this very nurturing domestic version of you. Yeah, you know. Yeah.
No, but I'm lucky too. He's equally, I think, in it. He's also extremely nurturing. Is very how do I put it? Is very he's co-responsible. I like to co-parenting, co-partnering. Yeah, he's pretty amazing himself.
I don't doubt that. I think for someone like both of you to be together, you really need to be supportive. Okay, and you mentioned Zodiac, right, and horoscope.
Yeah.
Knowing me, what do you think I am?
It's a good question. Yeah. Let me see. I'm trying to think. What are you? You're either a Sagittarius or a Libra.
Oh no.
No, okay, what are you?
I'm an Aries.
I was gonna say Aries. I swear, that was the first thing. And I was like, no, she's not that stubborn. I don't know how to be stubborn. That's how I was like, maybe you're not an Aries. And she said Aries, you know? So I was like, the first thing I thought was, I think this girl's an Aries, but I should have gone with my gut feeling, you know, that you're an Aries. Yeah.
Anyway, that was not part of the question, by the way. That was just on a side note. Okay. You're a new mother, and I know I'm saying this after a year old, but congratulations.
Thank you. I still feel like a new mother. I think I'll feel like a new mother for a very long time, so don't worry, you're not late.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, with the whole COVID thing, we haven't really been able to
meet anybody physically. Yes.
Anyway, now a few questions on motherhood.
Okay, sure.
Okay, what's the most underrated part about motherhood?
After becoming a mother myself, I think it's the fact that mothers don't get tired. I think like mothers hardly talk about this. Only after you become a mother and a breastfeeding mother at that, then you realize, because you have to wake up at least 3-4 times at night to feed your baby, you know, because your baby wakes up at night. And then you have this whole maternity leave where a lot of people who haven't become parents, and especially lawmakers who majority are men, don't realize that it's not a vacation or a holiday. So then they just assume that when you have maternity leave, you're not doing anything at home. So there's this thing that you say, don't ask a mother what she does at home, because it's like your hour is full. Like the 60 minutes is full. Like every minute is accounted for, every second is accounted for. Like you don't have a second where you're just like relaxing. Like even if you're physically relaxing, you're not relaxing mentally. So but that is like the general underrated thing. But I think the really underrated thing, not really underrated, but really what doesn't come to the spotlight or discussed much is mom guilt. Like, for instance, I'm walking with you guys and I'm enjoying this walk, but in the back of my head I'm like, what is my baby doing at home? Is he okay? Is he missing me? So it's there throughout. So like, this is like an advice to you, like, really enjoy your life, and once you cross 30, then think about motherhood at that time. Like, I would not advise, like, after the experience that I've been through, DJ all know me, like, I never wanted to be a mom, right? Like, never, until I met TP. And then suddenly it's like, imagine 34 years of my life, my worldview was so different from what it became after I met TP. So I never wanted to be a mom. So then after this experience, because I wanted to be independent, free, and you know how I am, the kind of lifestyle I have, my work is so important. There are so many things I want to do. So I actually managed to do all of that, thank goodness. Luckily, fortunately, I managed to do that before I decided, okay, maybe now my priorities are different. So after I met TP, then I was like, oh, maybe I want to try out this motherhood thing. So it's a huge emotional, mental, physical, financial investment. So until you feel you're comfortable enough in all of these aspects, like, people tell you, oh, you become a mother and everything comes to you naturally. That's bullshit. You don't, I'm going to call everybody out on that bullshit, because you don't just become a mother. You have to learn so many things. It's like a huge learning curve, even for somebody like me, who loves reading up on things and studying things, etc. And TP is like, oh, people like, he's like, if you were dating in school, you would have never dated me because I was such a nerd, right? I still am a nerd. So he's like, all you, these girls, these so nerdy, teacher's pets. I was completely that. And I was like, I would have never dated you. But he's like, how can you enjoy studying? But I'm that type. Like, I like to learn things, So even for me, the motherhood aspect, something that I enjoyed was the learning aspect of it. It was the most difficult as well as the most gratifying. But the underrated thing is this mom guilt. Like, you're never really mentally free of your baby.
I know, right? I think in this one answer, you brought so many aspects of it together. Like, mom guilt, like being a mother when you're ready.
Yeah, exactly, when you're ready.
Because I think just about everybody is like, if someone just becomes pregnant and they're like, husband didn't do.
Yeah, exactly. You get married and they're like, alu namke ni. And I was, take your time. And if you don't ever want to become a mother, that's fine too. This isn't the sole purpose of a woman's life, to be a mom. I like that. I want to share with you, like, your sole purpose in life is not to become a mother. There's like so many other things. Society tells you that, you haven't achieved something in life if you don't become a mother, right? And I think, no, like, enjoy your life, enjoy your freedom, enjoy being free of mom guilt and doing whatever you like. But there are some women who are also, again, very maternal, right? Like, from a young age, they want a family, all of that. Like, you do you, But if you're really thinking about this and thinking, should I become a mom or not? Until you are ready, completely. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. You know yourself and you're ready, right? So that's a good time to start a family.
And I'm pretty sure, like, both marriage and being a mother is such a beautiful journey, and it's something that you really want to enjoy because you want to, and not because you're forced into it.
Exactly.
Yes. With the societal pressure.
I know. You take your time. Don't worry.
At this pace, I think
it's a good pace. You know where you're going, so it's okay.
Okay, next thing, what's the biggest lesson you have learned from Baby R?
Good question. I'm just trying to see, because I've changed so much as a person. It's not just about learning a lesson, but he's taught me to reach into parts of myself that were otherwise neglected or I wasn't working on so much. Of course, number one, like all mothers say, that is patience. Like, you really need patience, because they're growing, they're learning, they don't know things that a lot of their mind is not logical yet. So then and I'm so used to dealing with people who are somewhat smart or can understand what I'm telling them to do, So then it's been really patience, unconditional love. But also, I think a part of me that I've really, they say, and it's scientifically proven that once you become a mother, your brain changes. So there's something called a mummy brain where you become really forgetful. So we all experience that, including my friends who are doctors. Other than that, it's also, you become a different person in a way. So I feel that I become less, I feel like I want to mind my own business now. Like, as a journalist, it's difficult to mind your own business. But even now, I'm at this stage in my life where I'm thinking, do I want to continue being a journalist? Do I want to shift gears? Because I do production anyway. So I'm a storyteller first and foremost, and journalism just happened to be one tool that I use to tell stories, right? So I'm like, how can I tell stories without always having to be mired in controversy? You know how it is, right? Everybody's like, oh, again, she's in some controversy or the other. So the last 1 year has been pretty, it has been quite uncontroversial by my standards, right? So I think that part of me has changed, where I just really want to slow down. Like, my priority is really baby R, like being a mom, and everything else is secondary to it. So that's the major shift. And for people who've known me for most of my life, I think they'll be quite surprised that I'm starting to think like this, because for me, otherwise it was always career, doing something, making an impact, blah 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 blah. And now I've become very inward looking, I think, as opposed to outward looking. So I think that has been the major shift. Yeah, unintentional on baby R's side, but the fact that we brought him into our lives, TP and I, and this is the consequence now, and I don't mind it so much. It's nice, I think, to have this, I think, a midlife shift. Yeah.
But I think, like you mentioned earlier, because that was something you wanted, right? You're ready for it,
right?
Yes. Such a beautiful thing, because I really believe in what people say, you don't know love until you have a baby.
I agree.
So yeah,
I agree. Yeah, the unconditionality and everything is around your baby. Yeah, revolves around your baby.
Yeah. So okay. So next thing is, now baby R has taught you this much. What's one lesson that you would like to teach baby R?
Oh gosh, I think for me, it's really, how I so into mental health and all of that too, and and independence, identity. For me, having worked with the queer community, etc., I think I really want baby R to be comfortable in his skin, to be whosoever he wants to be, because all of us had to do a lot of unlearning, right? Even for me, having had so much exposure, growing up in so many parts of the world, is always you always want to be accepted, right? Like, and you try to change yourself to be that person where most people will accept you or like you. So I want to be able to I think help baby R grow completely self-sufficient in himself, like completely comfortable with himself, that he doesn't need the external world to validate who he is. So I really, and especially because they're growing up in this age of social media, right? I mean, in your time you weren't completely exposed. In my time we definitely had so much freedom, because we didn't have to think about what other strangers think about us on the internet, right? But in baby R's world now, in his generation, this is why I don't expose him too much on my social media as well. I mean, there are parents who do it. I mean, like I said, you do you, but for me, I have my own reasons why I don't want to do that, right? And it's also part of this upbringing where I want baby R to be independent of what the world thinks of him. What should matter to him is that we as parents will love him no matter what. So I want him to feel completely satisfied, completely anchored in that he becomes the most powerful version of himself. I think that is what I want baby R to grow up as.
Right. So nice. That individuality is what's getting diluted, right?
Yeah, in a way. Yes.
Social media, and no matter how much we say, it does not affect me much.
Yeah.
Somehow at a subconscious level,
it does.
It does, and then your whole self-concept just shifts.
Yeah, that's true. Yes.
Okay. Now that we have touched a little bit on social media and its impacts, you have deleted your Facebook page. I know, which is such a huge following and community, and then I know you from taking frequent breaks from social media and having social media detox often, right? What's the deal behind that?
Well, the Facebook page, like I was telling you, if you look at the timeline, I deleted it after I gave birth to my son, right? So I looked at it and I was like, it's a complete mess, that page. Like, there's so many things that can keep going viral, and I don't have the time, and it's not important. Like I was saying, everything is so impermanent at the end of the day. Like, I don't identify with that Namgay Zam who was on that Facebook anymore. So if you look at the new Facebook which I've started, it's very work-based and not like who I was before. So I've become even more, while I'm there as a public personality, I've become really more private, I think, especially after baby R's birth. Like, even my use of Instagram, which is from all of the social media apps that I use, I'm on Instagram the most, right? So it's just, I've become more, I'm just like, this is not my circus, not my monkeys kind of a thing. So I'll actually be writing something down, like a really good worded thing, maybe a critique of something, whatever I want to express, or maybe even something, and I'll just delete it. Like, this wasn't me before, I'll write it and I'll post it, but now I'm like, what's the point? It just delete it. So even for me, like you're saying, so I don't really need to do, so the social media detox was happening and I was trying to figure out my relationship with social media from being on it so much, right? I mean, even at time, my younger sister accused me of oversharing, which I did. I think I was guilty of, to not sharing much. So now I'm at this comfortable place in my life where social media doesn't control what I do. So it was a process, you know. It didn't happen overnight. Do I want to let social media use me, or do I use social media, right? So that's the thing. And I mean, of course, you must have watched Netflix's Social Dilemma as well.
One of my
so
favorites.
it's like a drug. So the more you are exposed to this kind of information, then you realize, oh, there are certain decisions you can take in your life that can improve the quality of your living. And I think I've made these decisions. So I don't really need to do a social media detox because I'm not addicted to social media anymore, and it doesn't have a hold over me. So I come in, even on Facebook, I never scroll. I don't scroll Instagram too, so I don't see a lot of updates. I just post and I
ghost.
leave. So posting goes, that's the thing. Or like I'll look at some stories, but I don't. So there are friends, some friends of mine who are like, if Namgay Zam likes your photo, you have to really be like, wow, she liked my post. It means that it impacted her, because I'm really there now. Like I just post and then I leave. So I think that's a good relationship to have with social media, especially as creators, you know, on social media. And so I don't really need this detox. At one point I did, because your life revolves around it. But I think it's also made it it's easier for me now because I have baby R, I have work, so then I'm prioritizing everything, and social media is really down there right now. So it's not, and I have no like attachment. Sometimes when I have to like fundraise or try to help somebody, then I miss my old page. That's the only time. Other than that, there is no attachment to that page whatsoever. So I don't miss it that much. No.
But I'm pretty sure like people are happy to have you back. It's like I was mentioning before, you have your own community,
right?
Who
Yes,
do agree with you and the things that you do, and
right.
of course they must have missed you,
right?
There, so so happy to have you back on Facebook with the new page.
Somehow, and I'm grateful. I mean, I don't mean to be smug about it, but I'm glad that there are people who identify with who I am and what I do, and I appreciate people like that, because I'm sure they're just like that in their lives too. This is why what I do resonates with them, and I'm thankful for the kind of support that they lend me online, etc. So yes, definitely, yes, thank you to everybody who follows me, even if I keep changing my platforms and deleting and coming back on social media and leaving. So thanks.
And I think you brought a little to that. My next question was going to be again, you know, like how you also mentioned, I have noticed that when you share something online, like people just don't disagree with you on the opinion, right? Just because we have differing opinion, they start attacking on your personality.
Exactly.
That's something that's happening online. With everybody.
But not everybody. It happens with women more, and the studies also proven. I mean, I can just use. I mean, I don't. I really used to like Johnny Depp at one point, but then with the trial, I'm not siding with either of them, neither Johnny Depp or Amber Heard. But if you look at it, I'm not a fan of Amber Heard also, by the way. But if you look at it, look at the kind of vitriol she's been getting online, you know. And it's easier, like even for me as an educated feminist, it's easier for me to dislike Amber than it is to dislike Johnny Depp, you know. And this is part of misogyny at work, and I accept that. So then this is what it is. Like it's always, I mean, we have people like really creepy old men blokes in Hollywood, you know, like Harvey Weinstein and all these guys, and who hated on them, and they did even more horrible things, but nobody hated on them like they're hating on Amber Heard. So this is why it's so much easier. And even female journalists and female media personalities, we get a lot more hate online than men. That's just a fact of life, sadly, at this point. And I think we need to change it slowly. There are men who are very supportive and who come out and point out that this is misogyny, you know, when you just attack the women, and it's personal because you say something, but they don't want to attack you on what you've shared, but they want to attack you as a person. And it's so true. I don't know how long it'll take to change, but I think it's only through education and awareness that, you know, once you become aware that this is internalized misogyny and you shouldn't be reacting like this to a woman, and you want to have an intelligent debate with her, but Facebook is not the place for it. Nowhere in the world. Facebook is not the place for it. This is why I'm hardly there.
Even me, like I always say, like if you really want to disagree on this opinion, we could either talk face to face, just don't attack, right?
That's true.
So what's your one tip to dealing with such, you know, like, because like I was mentioning with the whole thing, and even you were mentioning before, with social media taking so much, and then we have a lot of creators online right now who deal with it on a daily basis. You having gone through it yourself, you know, what's like, and I think one of the first who had been like who really had been there, with this attack.
I know. Yeah.
So what would be your one tip to this new creators, and especially the young ones who are really vulnerable to getting affected so badly, right? So what would be your one tip to deal with that?
Thanks for asking me this, because it's something that I feel very strongly about also, and every chance I get to talk about it, I do talk about it. I think one sentence I want to share is, words can only have power if you give them the power, right? But I mean, of course, there's also scientific fact that the way our brain is designed, we tend to hold on to negative things more than positive things, right? So there could be like 10 people complimenting you today, and there'll be this one person who will write a shitty comment about you, and your brain will only think about that. Like, you'll forget about the 10 good things that were said about you. So through my own experience, I was saying, don't be lifted by the praise, and don't be shattered by the criticism. Right? So that's it. Like, this is what I keep telling myself also. So now it doesn't affect people like, oh, you must have such a thick skin. It takes work. You're not born with a thick skin, right? So then you decide, what do you want affecting you, So there's a reason you do the things you do in the case of creators. So then you see, some could be constructive criticism, then you take it. But if it's not constructive criticism, some anonymous account or a troll that's like really coming after you on social media, then you can block them. This is what I say, I mean, social media is like your house, and especially if it's your page and your account, and you find there's trolls and anonymous accounts coming and just writing nasty stuff. I mean, do you allow people like that in your house, right? No, you want to kick them out, right? You don't give them entry. So what do? I block. You just block them. That's what I say. You just keep blocking. That's the best thing for your mental health. Yeah, that's the best thing. But also, like I was saying on a serious note, is really words can only have power if you give them power. That's something you have to think about.
Yeah, true. I know it's easier said than done, and I'm pretty
practice.
Sure, yeah,
to practice.
You must have taken a long time to practice it.
Yeah, it took me like 6 intense months, and now I'm at the space where I'm just like, you can say whatever you want about me, and I'm just going to be like, you are right.
Yeah,
because it doesn't I'm beyond that now. Beyond
that's the first step.
So you're gonna be like, you're so annoying, and I'm like, yeah, you're right. So I'm at that phase in my life.
Yeah. Okay, and now coming back to, I know in the introduction I said that we will limit the question to something very personal and light. And not talk about your work, but that's what you're known
but
for.
It's part, it's part of who I am. It's difficult.
Who you are, right?
Yeah.
So let's just follow up with another question on work. Okay, so you have so many things going on for yourself. I don't know how you keep track of it, but for us, we see you like everywhere. And you have like, you are the executive director for Journalists Association of Bhutan,
right.
And then you have like so many online contents that's going on with, I think Hello from Bhutan is one podcast, query videos, and then you have this
BBS production and
Namgay page. Like, just briefly tell us what you are up to and what people can expect from each of these projects.
Okay.
Or what they should look out for. Not really expect, maybe like what they should look out for, so that if there's something that I can connect to, I can directly go and look out for that.
Okay, I see. Let me start with, I think one of my biggest production works right now is Good Practices on BBS. So that's related to good practices in anything actually. It started from the construction sector. We're still very much in the construction sector, but we move away to maybe social values. Soon we're going to be doing something related to health, food even, so good practices. These are subjects that are not really explored in the mainstream. So this is something we want to do, and thanks to my clients, Perfect Group. So they're the ones who are interested. They're saying we want to promote these social values, etc. So could we have a show called Good Practices? So that's been airing on BBS for now, and it airs every day. So right now it's architects, and I really enjoyed doing this. DJ was there with me too, but we really learned a lot about architecture. Good Practices, that, and Hello from Bhutan. This episode, this season is being sponsored by the Tourism Council of Bhutan. Okay. I was shocked because I was doing it as a side thing, like a hobby, before I got pregnant, and in my pregnancy I had to stop because I was really sick in my pregnancy. But even though I stopped, and there were like 4 or 5 episodes that were recorded, like basic sound, like no studio production, etc. There were like 74 countries people were listening to that. I was so shocked. I was like, why? I didn't even put extremely good content out there. So I was like, interesting. So I was like, maybe I need to monetize this now, So like when you're in this private area, right? So then I approached TCB, and they were interested, like especially with Bhutan opening up, etc. And I was like, we can really build brand Bhutan. So we're looking at, I'm going to be covering the Trans-Bhutan Trail also on the podcast. Yeah, so let's see. Of course, I can't go walking on it right now. I would like to, but then I want to see if I can do like a whole audio feast if they have recordings of their work, etc. etc. So like a more immersive kind of an experience. So that's what I want to do on the podcast this season. And Bhutanese Mama is my social media account for mothers. I started it because I felt like there was such a knowledge gap and mothers didn't know where to turn to it. Imagine somebody like me wasn't too sure about information and where to get it, all of that. So I was thinking, imagine the other mothers, and at that time when I didn't have that information, then there were friends who became mothers before me who were reaching out and saying, oh, let us know, or giving me information, and I felt so comforted by the information. And now I'm so close to these friends who I had actually lost touch with because they become moms and I wasn't a mom. So there's new friendships now, and because of that I was thinking, hey, this is sort of paying it forward because they reached out and they helped me, and I want to be able to help other mothers, especially new moms, because it's a really intense experience and a lonely experience. It's a really isolating experience when you become a mother. So then to have somebody else who you can talk to reach out to. So this was the whole reason why I created the account, and it's really growing. I think there's lots of women, men too. So I always say parents who follow the account for all kinds of information and queries. So that's that. I think that's all I've been working on. Besides, my journalism work, etc. So so that's keeps me busy.
Okay, now back to one personal question again.
Yeah.
I know you're a vegetarian.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So how did vegetarianism happen? And is it because of religion, or do you have other reasons for it?
No, it's not religion, because I became a vegetarian when I was in the 4th grade. Now I forget the year also, so it's 20 plus being vegetarian now. And it was easy for me to do it because I was born not liking meat.
Okay.
So then my grandmother would tell me that they cook meat and they put it in front of me, and I would take out all of the meat and I just eat the vegetables. So it was very easy for me to become a vegetarian. It's just meat, I find it disgusting. So even my son right now is vegan. He's not even vegetarian, he's vegan. So I'm waiting for him to start speaking before introducing him to meat, because even while I was pregnant, because I am a vegetarian and I didn't eat meat when I was pregnant as well. And that's another misconception that people have, that you have to eat meat when you're pregnant. Not necessarily. So you can have a healthy pregnancy without eating meat, but being really careful with your vegetarian diet. So for me it's that, and now of course it's environmental reasons, there's also religious reasons to it, the basis compassion, etc. But I'm not an angry vegetarian. I'm not a vegetarian advocate. I don't identify, because I really don't like to impose.
True.
There are certain things about gender I like to impose because it's a right thing, right? While it comes to food choices, it's not a fundamental right. Everybody has a fundamental right to food, but your choice of food is not a fundamental right that somebody should dictate to you, right? You have a choice, so you eat whatever you want as long as it's healthy and you're not harming somebody else. So by the same token, I hate it when people tell me, it's don't you get irritated if I come to you and be stop eating meat, start eating hentai. Every time, it's so sinful to that. Don't you get irritated? You want to beat these people up, right? I want to do the same to people, why don't you eat meat? It's good for you, this, that. I'm don't get me started on vegetarianism. So just back off, I respect your choice of food, respect my choice of food. As long as we nourish our bodies and we're healthy, no matter what, eat whatever you want. There are healthy options, So I'm against unhealthy choices of food, right? So it could be junk food, because this is directly connected to your mental health state of being, not just physical health, not about weight. I don't care so much about the weight, but it's more about what it does to your brain. So there's a lot of research and material literature available on this now. So because of that, I would advocate against unhealthy food if I could. Yes.
Okay. So that's about vegetarianism there. Because I'm a vegetarian, and then I'm the only vegetarian in my house still.
Oh.
It's house. No?
Yeah.
It's where you need either meat,
exactly,
egg, or cheese.
Yeah. Throughout the day.
Yeah, you put butter in.
Yeah.
So I come from that kind of a family.
Oh gosh. But I'm the only vegetarian in my family. My sister just recently became vegetarian too. She's so pescatarian mostly. So there's 2 of us, and then my mom is also almost vegetarian for health reasons actually. And even though I've been vegetarian for the longest, I'm actually the healthiest from the family. So we have this thyroid issues, our entire family, but because of my vegetarianism and I think the healthy food choices that I make, I'm the healthiest actually in the family.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is an argument you can give your family.
My family too.
Yeah.
Anyone who is a vegetarian who has to argue with others.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Okay, well now I think somewhat at the end of the 11 questions.
Sure, yeah.
Okay, so you already mentioned what's one of your biggest productions with BBS right now. Is there anything your community should expect from you in the coming months that you would like to share, or you?
Like I was saying, I think I dropped the biggest bomb in your interview, where I think I'm really reconsidering journalism, like whether this is what I want to do, continue with.
Yeah.
And I think maybe this year would be, I think, one year that would be, I think, a deciding one for me, whether I want to continue with journalism or not.
And be more of a storyteller?
Yeah, I think more of a storyteller. So I think that's what you could expect, like the storytelling. So it could be anything in storytelling, but maybe, yeah, journalism. I think I've reached that point in my life. I feel like I think I've done enough, and I don't know if I want to continue down this line, being a journalist, because I really enjoy being an activist. But what I really enjoy the most, as you can see, the things that I do, podcast, my social media, it's really storytelling, right, on different platforms, and that has been my constant passion throughout my life since I was a kid. That doesn't change, but the way I tell my story changes, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, maybe this is the year I say bye to journalism.
Speechless. Yeah, I think we do really need good journalists in Bhutan, like especially independent journalists.
Right,
you know?
yeah.
And I'm pretty sure the community would miss you. Yeah, if you do take that decision, though.
I'm thinking about it. I'm deliberating
Let's
it.
just hope for your good, if that's what you want, that you do it.
Yeah.
And for the sake of the journalism community,
Yeah.
that you don't.
I hope
Yeah,
there'll be more. So let's see. Yeah. So yeah.
Okay, and any last words, though?
So I think the last word is, once somebody told me, once you're in your 30s, you really stop caring about what people think, like the standards for your life change, you become more about yourself, right? So even when it comes to this now, I've reached this far in life, not that old yet, but a very old experience wise, as I like to say, is, it's not really about chasing your passion and chasing your dreams and finding your purpose in life. No, like, I mean, to put it in very simple words, TP, I was like, just go with the flow, he says, like, because you never know, life throws all kinds of things at you, right? So if you want to do something, do it because it gives you fulfillment. It makes you feel content. I'm wary about using the word happy because it could be different on different things, right? So I don't want to do that, but do it because you feel like you want to do it, and not because you want to get a certain number of followers or you want to impress people, but because you feel like, oh, there's value to what you're doing. Like it's worth it, what you're doing, and worth it could be any standard for you, like whatever standard you want to put to it. It doesn't have to be the standard that the world puts on it, so as long as you feel that your work is valuable and you can say that, yes, this is value, this is not a waste of time, this is something that I know I appreciate about myself that I can do, and I think then you should do it, not because other people appreciate you doing. Like so many people want me to come to me, oh, you should start another talk show, and I'm just like, I don't have the time and my heart's not in it right now to do a talk show, but if you're doing this, right, it's almost like a talk show too, like telling stories, etc. But you feel there's value in it, right? You're not doing it for thousands of followers whatsoever, but because both you and DJ believe in this, right? So both of you could have different reasons for why you believe in it, but you believe in it. There's a belief, there's a worth, there's a sense of worth, right? And so I think if you can find the sense, this is worth more than, oh, this is my passion, or this is what brings me joy, or whatever. I think because all of that is so fleeting, I think at the end of the day, it's really about the worth, the value, and that could change. Like it could be negative value, positive value, whatever, but there's some value to it, right? So then you should do it when it's that. Yeah, but yeah, don't chase your passion.
Chase your passion. So we're ending on that. Thank you so much, Al.
Thanks for having me.
I think we didn't even say the full name, but
Can we
your introduction? Full name, yeah.
It's okay. I think I'm fine being known as Namgay. That's okay.
We're like, oh, Namgay, and then we just reached the end.
Yeah.
And if anyone is wondering, I think we're walking this tipsy trail from to the point.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you everyone for tuning back if you are returning, and for the new viewers, welcome. Thank you. Bye bye.